This should be a great one, you guys. We have got quite the exciting batch of coins right here. If you've seen my recent video about the Laundromat quarters, so there was a person who, I found out a little bit more about him from the tellers. This person owns a bunch of apartment complexes, and he goes around and collects the quarters from the laundry machines in those apartment complexes. So he just hits up a bunch of apartments where people are just throwing in their change into these machines, and he isn't much of a collector, so he just rolls it all up, takes it to the bank, and then I get to search it. Last time I did $2,000 total. The tellers called me when I was at work today, left me a voicemail. They said he left another 1,400 today, which was a little odd because they said it should take like 2 to 3 months, but I guess he was probably getting more coins around the holiday season here. So we've got two full boxes right here and here. This one's going to be a $400 box. So 1,400 total. Last time, you can see all my finds back there. I still don't even know what to do with all of them. I had a ton of finds. I think we had 69 total out of $2,000 in quarters. So if that pace keeps up with these, we can expect a very exciting hunt. I think like last time, what I'll do is I will crack into the first box. I think I'll probably start with the one that's the least full just because I want to end on 2 full boxes. And we'll kind of play it by ear to see, how the finds are treating us, to see if we need this to be 2 separate videos. But definitely going to be at least one here. We'll start with this one right here, and I'll show you guys if I get any good finds. Really looking forward to this. So the first find is going to be a spitting horse die crack error here, and this is going to be on roll 8. So kind of a slow start here, not as many of those die chip errors as I'd like to see. I haven't found any of them yet. For those who haven't seen my last video in this series, I was finding a ton of these things. I found, I want to say 39 of them, and these sell on eBay pretty consistently. At least the last time I checked, like probably about $8 to $20. So, and I found a lot of them. If I were to sell those all on eBay, which I might, I just made an eBay, I can make a lot of money. But it doesn't look like we're gonna have those here, unfortunately, at least not yet. But I'll take this as a first find. I always love finding those spitting horse 1999 Delaware quarters. Find 2 is gonna come out of roll 12. We've got a 2022 P Dr. Sally Ride Ghost Comet. You can see right here there is some kind of like a line going this way. It almost looks like it's part of that comet. That is going to be a die clash, I believe. These sell for around like $5. Say anywhere from like 3 to 5, so it's not a bad second find. Well, this is pretty interesting. In the same roll, we have got a Drooling George. Got a little die chip on the mouth of Washington here on this 2022P. Flip it over. It's another Dr. Sally Ride with that Ghost Comet error. You can see at like every angle of light that is actually raised right here. There should be some other raised parts right there. That's pretty sweet. There we go, guys. Roll 16. We've got one of these die chips that I was looking for. This is what I kept finding in the last hunt. But this one's actually bigger than a lot of the ones that I found last time. Let's see if it is the Man Killer Reverse. It's actually one of the newer ones. Wow. I didn't think these had a lot of errors, so that might be actually more valuable. That's pretty awesome. That is a big die chip, guys. Also looks like here the T might have some grease strike. It looks a little weak. That's pretty sweet though. It's got some bag marks on the face, but that might be a pretty valuable error. I'm gonna look that up on eBay because I know these didn't have a ton of errors on them. That's pretty sweet. I thought that was gonna be another Man Killer, but that is our 4th find. Roll 20 is gonna give me another find on this 2021P crossing the Delaware. We've got, I believe, some kind of clash in front of Washington's face there. I've seen these also selling on eBay for a few bucks, so I will be pulling that one aside. Roll 23 gave me this 2005P Kansas State quarter. It looks like there's almost some kind of strike through going on around that on the reverse, and looks like we got in God We Rust on the obverse. It's kind of weird though because the O is barely visible, but you can see the G and the D fine, so that's kind of cool. Definitely looks like there's some kind of strike through going on both the obverse and the reverse. It's an interesting find. Roll 35 had a couple finds I just wanted to show you all real quick. Nothing too special or anything, but on this 2021 P crossing the Delaware, I have a little die chip closer to the front of the hat here. It's a nice little find. And we've got an ungodly rust. Looks like an odd we ust in certain lighting. There's definitely a bit of lettering that is a victim of that grease strike, so that's pretty cool. I'll take that as well. Looks like we've got around 9 finds, so that's not terrible for $400 worth so far, and we still do have 5 rolls. That's going to be it for the first $400 of this hunt. I gotta say I'm a bit disappointed. I thought I'd be finding more, but I did go W-less on the first box of the last Laundromat hunt as well, so it's not a total loss. I think we'll get back to it. This was the best find of the first $400, 2022 P Nina Atoro Warren. Don't know if I pronounced that right, but we've got a massive die chip on the nose there. That's a good find. So that is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 finds in the first $400. Not quite the pace we were at last time, but there is still hope. We've got 2 more to go. Let's get to it. I'll get to the second box right now. We're just on roll 1 of the second box of quarters I have here, and I've got a pretty interesting rim. I think it's going to be like the last hunt. I think we're going to have a plated quarter here that doesn't quite look Canadian, and it doesn't look silver. And I'm right, it's going to be a New Jersey. Let me zoom in here. New Jersey 1999 Denver plated quarter. Couldn't tell you what it's plated with, but it is a silver color. See if it sticks to a magnet. That would be interesting. Magnet does not stick to it. I'm not sure what that plating would be, but it's definitely a plated quarter. I'll take that as a miscellaneous find. Well, this box is off to a very slow start. Unfortunately, we're on roll 10 and we have our first real find here. It's a 2021 P crossing the Delaware with the bird's nest die chip right there in the corner. Pretty cool find here on roll 23. We have got a leaky bucket, and that is very leaky. On this 2015 Homestead quarter. See the bottom of the bucket, there's a big die chip that is known as the leaky bucket. I don't think I've ever found one that's this dramatic. That's pretty cool. We also got some snow on the roof. I see a little floating die chip up there. Looks like there could be one on this side too. So that is a pretty awesome find. As long as I got you here too, I did find a couple other finds. I did not end up recording in the last like 5 rolls, I would say. We got a 2008 Arizona extra leaf die chip here. There's a die chip covering part of the initials of the designer. We have got a ungodly rust 2005 Kansas. And we have got another ghost comet. This also might have a strike through of some kind. You can see that little mark to the left of E pluribus unum. That almost looks too natural to be damage. I don't know. I'll have to take a closer look with the scope later, but it is going to be a ghost comet at the very minimum. So that's cool. We got 4 more finds. Nothing too crazy yet. I'd say the find of this box so far has been this leaky bucket. Hopefully we can get something other than errors on the board. This has been a disappointing box, but we do have a couple more finds on the last few rolls. On roll 48, I got this here. It's going to be a crossing the Delaware 2021 P with the bird's nest die chip on the hat. And we've also got a 4 in here. This one's going to be a Cayman Islands Queen Elizabeth 2002 25-cent piece on the last roll. No W's yet, but we did get our first 4 in right there. We do have a lot of errors. And we still do have $500 to search. Pretty disappointing so far, but I'm hopeful that the last box will pick up. I'm now in box 3 of the quarters, and I did get 1 find. It's going to be a 2022 P Maya Angelou with a Drooling George die chip here. You got a die chip on the mouth of George on the obverse. But we're going to be, let's see, 10 rolls down at this point, and I picked out this Weir Farm. Flipped it around. It's going to be a beautiful looking West Point. I'm filming the end of this video in 2023. I started these boxes in 2022. I just kind of got overwhelmed with coins at the end of the year. So technically, we'll count this as the first W of 2023. That's awesome, guys. I think that's number 78 for me total. I was thinking about abandoning this video because I just wasn't finding anything like too crazy, but Yeah, that's gonna make the video. I think we're gonna make a video now. That's an awesome find, guys. Beautiful West Point. That thing's almost flawless. We've got another box with pretty slow finds here, but on roll 20, I do have a Arizona State quarter here that's gonna have the extra cactus leaf error. If you look down here at the bottom of the cactus, a little die chip is covering up the designer's initials, or at least part of them. So I always try to hold on to these. This one is in pretty decent condition, so definitely worth holding on to. That is gonna be my third find for this part of the hunt. It looks like this last box is going to have most of the good finds. We are on roll 30 now, and I've got a double die obverse. This one is a Salt River Bay, and it looks pretty uncirculated. That's in really good shape, so I'm really happy to have it. That is a really good find. I don't remember exactly what they're selling for right now, but it should be at least like $8 to $12, so great find right there. Let's keep at it. Same roll, we've got a bird's nest die chip right here on the hat on this 2021 P crossing the Delaware quarter. It's got some ring of death going on in the obverse, but I'll probably still hold on to it. I try to keep onto these. I got a pretty cool find here on roll 33. It's going to be a bird's nest die chip with the die chip in the back of the hat. But if you look close, you can see a big die chip starting to form on the front of the hat. That's the beginning of the crown die chip error. So this one is a little bit early on in the crown die chip state. But again, like, I might have to put that one under the scope later, but you can see like a little bulge of that die chip starting to form on the front of the hat as well. That's pretty cool. I found a ton of these die chip quarters. I don't think I've ever found any in like this phase of the crown die chip, so that's pretty awesome. Roll 45, I've got another 2015 Homestead quarter air. This one's going to be a snow on the roof. You can see a pretty hefty die chip right there on the left side of the roof, so that's pretty cool. We've got two pretty decent Homestead airs. I'd say the leaky bucket is the better one, but this is still a nice one to find. That's going to be a wrap on the Laundromat quarter hunt today. It wasn't as good of a hunt as I was hoping for. I was hoping I would get a lot more W's and these nose die chip airs right here, but I still found a really good amount of finds for $1,400. I'm happy with what I got. So let's dive into it. We got a really nice W here. This one's going to be a Weir Farm West Point. I haven't found many of these. They're pretty tough to find where I'm at, so I'm happy to have it. And that is also the first W of 2023. We've got a Salt River Bay double die here. Double die obverse, 2020. I find those pretty frequently, but they are worth a little bit of money and they're fun to find. Very noticeable DDO. This was another one that I thought was one of the better finds. We've got a leaky bucket on this Homestead quarter. Now that I'm looking at it in this light, there could be a little die chip up on there too. It looks like it might have some snow on the roof. I don't know if I pointed that out earlier or not. It's been a while since I found this. I think I told you guys this one was from 2022. It's been a few weeks, but we've got this nose die chip here on this 2022 P Photo Parala Mujer. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't even, what's that design called? Nina Otero Warren? God, I can't talk. Yeah, sorry guys, I probably butchered that. And another one I thought I'd show with all these is this kind of like double die chip on this crossing the Delaware on the hat. It almost looks like it's the beginning of a crown die chip, so that one was cool. I don't think I've ever found one of those before. Moving on, we got a bunch more errors to go through. We've got a snow on the roof on this 2015 Homestead. You can see that die chip on the left side of the roof. We've just got a bunch of the minor die chips on the crossing the Delaware here. This one on the end, yes, I believe that's going to be a die clash. You can see it in front of Washington's face there. We've got some Engadwi rust down here. Those are going to be 2005 P Kansas. In the light, you can kind of see the T's pretty far gone on those. We've got a couple Ghost Comets here. I don't know if I'll hold on to these from now on unless they're in like really great condition, because they typically don't sell for a ton. I think they're a pretty common error, but I pulled 4 of them aside, figured why not. We've got a extra cactus leaf, 2008 Arizona. There's a die chip over the designer's initials below that cactus. We've got a Drooling George here, 2022 PMI Angelou. Could also look for a die crack by the eagle's mouth right there, or the beak or whatever, as well as a cud down by $0.25. Those show up on these sometimes. We've got a spitting horse, 1999 Delaware here. It's a pretty nice example. Looks like we've got another extra cactus leaf right here. And I don't believe I filmed this one. I decided to pull it aside though. I figured that could be like a grease strike through or something on this 2020P American Samoa National Park. But the bat's noses are like pretty worn down. That very easily could be damage, but I decided to pull it aside just in case. I've never really seen anything like that before. And I don't see any other details that are worn down on the coin, so I thought that was a little bit weird. So just a little miscellaneous thing to pull aside. I'm not sure if I'll end up keeping that in the long run or not. I've got a foreign down here. This is going to be a Cayman Islands from 2002. Nice little sailboat on the reverse there. And we've got a plated quarter, New Jersey 1999. So I don't think this lived up to the first hunt in which I hunted $2,000, but it was still a fun hunt. We still got some nice finds, and I'm happy to have my first West Point of the year. Some of these errors are pretty good too. But thank you all for watching. I'm definitely going to be continuing to hit up that bank. I'm going to try to get more of these Laundromat quarters. As I've said before, this guy, they said typically it's like every 3 or 4 months he'll drop off quarters. But these I actually picked up like 2 or 3 weeks after the first batch I picked up. So maybe he's getting a lot of quarters right now around the holidays. So I'm going to keep my eyes out. I'm going to keep my phone ringer on. Hopefully they call me back soon. Because these are always fun hunts. You never really know what you're going to find in the Laundromat quarters. So again, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you on the next one.